The 93rd minute, Seattle Stadium, Iran versus Egypt. A free kick floated into the box. Egyptian goalkeeper Mostafa Choubert scrambled off his line. The ball broke loose in a chaotic scramble, and Shoja Khalilzadeh, Iran's veteran center-back, slammed the rebound into the net. The stadium erupted. Iranian players sprinted from the bench. Khalilzadeh removed his shirt and was immediately booked, a caution he did not care about for a single second. For the briefest moment in this tournament, Iran had done what almost nobody believed they could do. They had fought through every obstacle this World Cup had placed in front of them: the Tijuana base, the denied officials, the revoked ticket allocation, the players detained at airports, and they had scored the goal that would have sent them to the knockout rounds for the first time in their history. Then Polish referee Szymon Marciniak touched his earpiece. VAR was reviewing. 3 minutes later, the goal was gone. Here is what actually happened. Because the competitor scripts on this story are either screaming about robbery or accepting the call without explanation. Neither is the full story. The offside rule states that a player cannot be nearer to the opponent's goal line than both the ball and the second-to-last opponent at the moment the ball is played. Usually, the goalkeeper is automatically one of those two final defenders, which is why the rule feels invisible in most situations. The goalkeeper is back, one outfield defender is back, and the offside line is drawn from that second outfield player. In the 93rd minute in Seattle, Egyptian goalkeeper Mostafa Choubert had vacated his net during the scramble, which meant the last opponent was no longer the goalkeeper but an outfield defender named Ibrahim, and the second-to-last opponent was a player named Abdel Karim, further up the pitch. Khalilzadeh, at the moment the ball was flicked on during the build-up, was marginally beyond Abdel Karim. VAR's protocol at this World Cup is to judge offside at the exact microsecond a ball is played or flicked by a teammate, not when the final shot is taken. At that precise split second, two Iranian attackers had drifted past the second-to-last defender. They became active participants in a scramble that directly prevented Egypt from clearing the ball. The goal was disallowed. That call was not wrong. It was correct. By the laws of the game as written, and as FIFA has applied them at every tournament since semi-automated offside technology was introduced, that is the right decision. And that is actually the more interesting story. Not that FIFA made a mistake, but that the laws of the game, applied with microscopic precision, can produce a result that feels, to every person inside that stadium, to every Iranian watching on a screen in Tijuana, to every neutral watching around the world, like a profound injustice. Here is why the distinction matters. The competitor scripts covering this moment are calling it a robbery, a disgrace, a corporate execution. That framing is emotionally satisfying and analytically empty. It explains nothing. It asks no questions worth answering. The question worth asking is this: when a law designed to prevent unfair advantage produces a result that feels more unfair than the infraction it was designed to prevent, what does that tell us about the law? The offside rule exists to stop attackers from standing in the goal mouth and waiting for long balls. Khalilzadeh was not doing that. He was a defender arriving late into a chaotic goal-mouth scramble created by his own team's free kick. The Egyptian defensive unit had pushed higher to clear the initial delivery, creating the unusual situation where the goalkeeper was not the last man back. Egypt's defensive positioning created the technical offside. VAR found it anyway. The goal was disallowed anyway. Iran hit the crossbar in the closing minutes. The game finished 1-1. Instead of advancing as group runners-up, Iran's knockout round fate was left dependent on results elsewhere. In a group they had been battling to survive before a single ball was kicked, from a base in Tijuana, with officials denied entry and tickets revoked. The irony is total. A nation that had already been told by this tournament's host that its presence was conditional, that its officials were not welcome, that its supporters did not deserve seats. That nation came to within a VAR review of reaching the knockout rounds on merit, and was denied by a correct application of a rule that produces results nobody intended the rule to produce. FIFA did not destroy Iran's World Cup dream. A law did. A correct law, applied precisely at the worst possible moment to a team that had already survived everything this tournament had thrown at them. That is not a robbery. It is something more uncomfortable than that. It is the game working exactly as designed and producing exactly the wrong result. If you've been following Iran's journey at this World Cup closely enough to feel what that 93rd minute actually meant, subscribe. And tell me in the comments, should the offside law be changed? Or is precision the only thing that protects the integrity of the game? I read everything,